morning, Britain. Broken and rotten. The verdict this morning on the Metropolitan Police. Baroness Casey's shocking report, triggered by the murder of Sarah Everard, warns that the force could not be trusted to police itself, and there could be more predatory officers like killer Wayne Couzens or serial rapist David Carrick still working within its ranks.
We have to know that when a man shows us a warrant card and asks us to do something, that we can trust him, and that we have to be able to be sure that they are people of good conduct, and at the moment we can't prove it.
Meanwhile, the man under intense pressure to make radical changes to the force, the Commissioner of the Met Police, Sir Mark Rowley, will be live here after 7.
The head teacher who's banning Ofsted from her school today in a show of solidarity after a fellow head teacher took her own life after a report downgraded her school from outstanding to inadequate.
Ruth Perry took her own life while awaiting the report that would be published, downgrading her school from outstanding to inadequate. Now, 2 unions and head teachers are calling for a pause on Ofsted reports, saying they're too traumatic for school leaders.
Potholes and road rage. The crumbling crisis hitting our streets as England's road repair bill reaches a record high of £14 billion. Do potholes drive you potty? Get in touch and let us know.
Ginger hair, really short. He stutters. That guy doesn't become a pop star.
Superstar Ed Sheeran opens up about his meteoric rise to stardom, including overcoming his stammer as a child. The new documentary promises to show a side to the singer that we've never seen before.
And also this morning, she has been a Corrie star, a dinner lady, and of course was Daniel Craig's first unofficial Bond girl. Actress Anne Reid will be here in the studio this morning.
Yesterday's rain clearing away, and today is one of sunshine and showers. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 21st of March, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London, this is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ed Balls.
Good morning, Britain. It has just gone 6 o'clock. Obviously, the main news this morning about the Metropolitan Police, but I wonder whether the main issue on drivers' minds this morning and cyclists' minds and, frankly, also pedestrians' minds is the state of our roads. The potholes, which appear to be getting worse and are not getting repaired quite as quickly. This report, which says that we are sinking daily into a sort of pothole abyss. Fewer craters are fixed. Almost half our roads...
How big are these potholes?
...are falling apart. Well, the trouble is
abyss.
they don't actually need to be that big.
They don't.
If you're... The people I feel sorry for, of course it's annoying. I'm a motorist. Of course it's annoying when you hit a pothole and it can be very damaging. The thing I'm most worried about is cyclists, because if you cycle through a pothole, you're at enormous risk. If you try and veer late around a pothole, obviously you're also at risk from motorists who don't know what you're doing. So it's not just that they're an annoyance and they're damaging, they're actually life-threatening, aren't they?
Do you do a lot of cycling?
I do zero cycling because I actually...
The potholes?
It's not the potholes. I just find it... Oh, we've got a live pothole cam.
There we are.
Of course we have. Stuart. Well done. So that we'll keep an eye on that pothole this morning.
The shocking thing about this report is it says that it is like £14 billion, I think, to repair them all, and it would take 11 years. And presumably, you know, it's like painting the Forth Road Bridge. Every time you're repairing a pothole, if you do, you know, there's the new ones being created because of frost and weather and all those kind of things. So an unending problem, but it feels like we're getting behind on our pothole.
We are getting behind on our potholes, and as a result, we're putting people at risk. But as you can see, our live pothole cam will monitor whether that pothole gets fixed this morning while we're live on air.
It's the thought of you at 4 in the morning on your bike, veering around potholes as you cycle in, which is in my mind, lodged.
Yeah, you don't need to have that image in your mind because I literally never get on a bike. I find it too frightening to cycle in the city. All credit to anybody who does. Mark Morell is Mr. Pothole. He is on a mission to save lives by making sure that they're filled in. He started campaigning 10 years ago this month, so celebrating a decade of campaigning on this issue.
I think it started because of one pothole, isn't it?
On the A422 near Farthinghoe, close to where he lives, and he contacted the council when they didn't do anything. He was so worried because the hole was on a bend. You see, this is what I mean. Hole was on a bend. People were crossing onto the incoming traffic to avoid it.
Were you to be cycling, that could have been really bad.
It would have been really bad. He called the police, expedited the repair, and he was christened Mr. Pothole. We'll speak to Mr. Pothole after 8 o'clock this morning.
From one small pothole.
A whole campaign has grown, and unfortunately so have the potholes, and they're not getting fixed.
I can tell you, if you're a local councillor, this is like the biggest issue which you face.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah. It's the thing which makes people most upset. Why can't you just sort out the potholes?
Already we are getting inundated with messages. My goodness, we really are, actually. I'm not just saying that. Susan...
I feel we can't read them all out.
Why? Are they... do they include words on the Ofcom list, Ed?
No, not because...
Let's not go down that pothole.
The chances of there being words on the Ofcom list are very high when it comes to potholes.
Yes, exactly.
I think it drives you potty onwards.
Susan says, I live on a council estate. It's got recurring potholes, lots of them. All the council keeps doing is chucking some tarmac in them time after time. Then the rain comes and the frost, of course, and that means that they deteriorate again. And Susan will make the point that a lot of people make. She pays her council tax, like anybody else. How come the money isn't put into full repair? Paul says we need to keep our vehicles roadworthy, but the roads are not worthy of our vehicles. Matt, it would help if the council repaired them correctly. He points his finger at his local council. They're shocking regarding potholes. Most repairs come back out within weeks and are redone to the same poor standard.
Can I just say, and, as an occasional cyclist, which I know distinguishes the two of us, as an occasional cyclist, there is the only thing more destabilising than cycling through a pothole is cycling through a repaired pothole where they've not got the camber right. So you got bump over. It's like a small speed bump.
Yeah.
Could really throw you off.
Yeah, OK. Save our roads, fix our potholes. Do get in touch with us this morning, and we will be with Mr. Pothole after 8, who'll have, I'm sure, really good advice if you want to contact your council and use the right words to get it fixed.
We're talking about potholes, which is a really big issue. There is also the future of the Metropolitan Police.
Yeah, and that's our main news this morning. Institutionally racist, sexist and homophobic. That is the damning verdict of a review ordered after the murder of Sarah Everard by a serving police officer. Elite armed units were found to be hotbeds of prejudice and apparently allowed to break the rules, even spending on night vision goggles and tomahawk axes.
The report by Baroness Casey warns that there may be more officers like killer Wayne Couzens and serial rapist David Carrick, and that the Metropolitan Police may need to be broken up if things don't change. And our correspondent Nithya Rajan is at Scotland Yard. Nithya, this is a truly shocking, damning report. So far, have we heard from the Met? How are they going to respond?